in this new law that the Major Port Authority shall prepare its own master plan, and in case there is a conflict between the Major Ports master plan and the state government's master plan, the Major Ports master plan will override the state government's master plan. Therefore, the state government, or the government of Goa, and thereby its people, will have no say whatsoever in any development that will be carried out by Mormungao Port Authority. I have been bringing this to the notice of the state government at the highest levels. Our state government is well aware of the implications. In fact, in the last assembly session, there was even a reply given to an LAQ I noticed, which admits the supersession of local laws by this central act. The Goa Land Revenue Code declares that the water area of the rivers belong to the state government, but now the Major Port Authorities Act will supersede the Goa Land Revenue Code, and the Major Port Authority will now be entitled to carry out development even on our rivers which are within their port limits. It is a well-known fact, and the new law itself enables the Major Port Authority to be listed on the stock exchange. In other words, corporates are going to be taking over our major ports. So, in due course of time, these corporates will also have an access to our waters and our lands. So what they could not do directly, they will now be doing indirectly, and there is no protection available to our traditional fishermen, to our coastal communities, and to the people of Goa. I think this is a very serious development that has taken place. Its impact will be known at some point of time, and then by then it will be too late for the people of Goa to react. It will be more or less the same thing what we are experiencing with respect to this doubling of the railway track and the highways. I would sincerely request the state of Goa to put up its case to the central government and to ensure that Mormungao Port is exempted from these particular 3 provisions of the Major Ports Act.
On 13th October 2020, and apprised them about the disastrous consequences that this bill, if converted into an act, will have on the state of Goa. The 53 kilometers of coastal belt that we are concerned about is currently the mainstay of tourism and the fishing industry. We fail to understand what our local government and our MPs have done in this intervening period. It has been months since this meeting, but nothing concrete seems to have come of it. We appeal to the local government to have or to take an all-party delegation immediately to Delhi and apprise the central leadership that a small and tiny state like Goa cannot sustain such developments.
And this board, the planning board, will be coming out with their own rules and regulations. It will be given absolute power. The main intention is to increase the trade and business and export and all that thing. That is fine. But by giving the landlord status, you are giving absolute power to MPT. And in that sense, when there is a conflict of rules, that is the conflict of rules, the existing rules of the state, the planning body, that is the TCP, and the local bodies, Panchayat municipality, conflict with the rules regulations that has been brought about by the planning board in the MPT. It clearly says the rules regulation of MPT will prevail over the rules, the local rules of the state government or the local body. Now that you have made a state within a state, येदेशें गोंय आमचें, you are bringing the entire shoreline under the jurisdiction of MPT. Whether are fishermen, whether are traditional people like reindeer or आमचे नुस्तें मारपी आसा, नाल्यार आमचे agriculture people along the sea, you have brought them under these people. They will just snatch away. And if you see this act in consonance with IWAI Act, which was amended in 2016, it says the port will be given absolute power to go in for compulsory acquisition, and it is in bold, compulsory acquisition for appurtenant land. Now what is appurtenant land? Appurtenant land is unlimited land on either side of the river. So that means this landlord, so-called landlord, will acquire compulsorily all the land. कोणाची घरां आसा, कोणाची मंदिर आसा, इगर्ज आसा, मस्जिद, absolutely knows this. They will just acquire. So we have destroyed Goa. I appeal to the chief minister. इतले तुम्ही दिले, म्हादय दिली, आमचे मोपा दिले, सगळे शेतां भाटां दिली, हेंय दिता तुम्ही दर्याचे आमकां देवान दिल्ले, पुर्वजांनी सांबाळून दवरलेले. What will our next generation have? Nothing.